I'm Erika Lilleodden. I'm the new Institute Director of the Fraunhofer Institute for Microstructure of Materials and Systems. I'm from the US. I've been in Germany, though, since 2004. My background is truly material science, from bachelor's to my PhD, and work experience since then, and therefore I think it should be a good fit here in Halle. I had the pleasure of meeting Matthias Petzold shortly after I arrived in Germany back in 2004, 2005. Since then, understanding really the landscape of Fraunhofer and the importance of really addressing industrial problems and the needs at a more applications level is what I find interesting. I would say that most people who have worked with me before, I think, have sort of a positive experience with me. I'm very sort of low on the hierarchy importance. I enjoy interacting with people. One of the reasons that I went into academic direction, that I would have a constant interaction with students, and this idea of solving problems and identifying problems together. Yeah, so the idea of really sort of large-scale teamwork is something that I find important, open door policy, and a very respectful ability to discuss and be critical from both sides. Since I've begun really my career in research, I've been much more focused on fundamental research, and I see this huge challenge of really trying to formulate the problems that we're solving in terms of what's really important towards industry, and I see that as sort of an exciting direction that gives a little bit more purpose in some ways to what I have been doing. And the level of personnel as a responsibility, it's scary, but it's exciting. As I think I've said before, I really enjoy working with people, and hopefully will be a good face for this institute and interacting with the various partners, both in Germany and potentially extending upon my international sort of network. So far, and clearly since my days as a PhD student, and I think even before as an undergraduate, I've done a lot of research in gold, which of course is not necessarily what we see as, technical material. But most recently, the idea of nanostructuring gold for various applications and catalysis and sensoric and actuation really becomes more interesting to industry. And then the question is, can one transfer this to non-noble materials that are a little bit more interesting or relevant economically? And so finding the focus here in microstructure and exploiting microstructure for applications is really that next step. So the transfer from fundamental to industry. Well, my first task is, of course, to meet everybody in the Institute to understand what has made this Institute so strong and successful. And then we're very well positioned to start looking at what the new challenges are that are facing us. This comes from needs from society, the issues that we need to address in terms of energy and climate, and to see where we can position ourselves best within the context of Fraunhofer and the industrial needs that surround us in the area. It's important, again, to re-emphasize how I look forward to really assessing what this institute is about and meeting the people. I think it would be naive to set too much of an agenda prior to that. As I said, this institute has been very successful. I see my job to maintain its success and to sort of incorporate some of the ideas. My background is in micromechanics. There is that existent here, but maybe there are some areas that I could see sort of serving as interfaces between some of the business units, interacting with the university, of course, and seeing how that sort of relationship can develop, making use of such an incredible scientific environment in Halle with the Max Planck Institute for Microstructural Physics, for example, and recognizing where we can use our position to solve problems that are of interest.